Gonna try, gonna try, gonna try. Work till I die, till I die, till I die. I'm gonna fail and get up, cause I'm not giving up on my dream.
Hi my lovely Frosty fam, it's me, Karen Frost, here at Nail Decadence, and in this video I'm going to be doing an acrylic set. It's a fairly simple set, so we'll just get right into it, shall we? Welcome to my channel, welcome one and all. Sorry this video is late, I didn't end up getting to be able to schedule the videos that I wanted to get edited ready, but yeah, better late than never. Anywho, as you can see, I don't have a lot of products out to use for this set because I'm not using a lot of products. It's, yeah, really simple, easy set to do. And of course, we've got some crystals. Got to have some crystals. These are both colour shifting crystals. Look at that, aren't they pretty? I'm also using my oval number 14 brush from it's Kolinsky from SBD London. I do love my SBD London brushes for acrylic. They are really nice, and I've had my size 12 for years and it's still going strong, so yeah, can't knock them. Also going to use my lovely Handolly as usual. If you're interested in getting yourself a realistic silicone practice hand, I highly recommend this one. You're welcome to use my code at www.handolly.co.uk, and the code is new code, it's FROST10 for a discount on your order. So what I'm doing at the moment is I've already applied my tips and prepped the nails, all of that good stuff, and now I'm just applying the thin clear base. I don't always show this in videos, but sometimes I like to leave it in because it's something that I always do, but I don't necessarily always show you. But rest assured, if I don't show you, I've always got my thin clear base going. So as I said, this set is going to be really simple. So I'm just using white acrylic and I'm going to cap it all in clear. I like to cap my nails, not just because I'm encapsulating the foil, but because I like to build the nail in the clear. One, it's the strongest. Two, if I'm capping in clear, building the nail in clear, my colours last longer, and it is the cheapest of all the acrylics, and it has the best adhesion, hence I put the thin clear base. So if I'm sandwiching a colour in between the clear, I know I've got a good nail and my colours are going to last a lot longer. So what I'm using, on that index finger, I just I started putting it by the cuticle area, and then I forgot and thought, no, you're not doing that full nail of white on that finger, stop that. So then I just did it 3/4 of the way down, just shifted that bead. Then on the middle finger, as you can see, a full nail of white. Like I said, I'm only using the white as a colour, so I'm keeping it really thin. That way I've got a good margin for my clear. That way I don't file into the white, nor will I file into any of the foil that I encapsulate either. So on to that ring finger again, full nail of the white, so still keeping my white very thin, just getting enough for opaque coverage, and that's it. It doesn't matter where you start on the nail. You can start at the middle of the nail, you can start at the free edge, you can start at the cuticle area. It's up to you. Just as long as you've got you're blending your beads, it'll be fine. As long as you're blending, you won't notice where the start and finish is for each bead. Or you could do it all in one bead if you so wish. I like to work in smaller beads, that's my personal preference, because I use a high-speed monomer, which means trying to do one bead is a little bit tricky because it sets up so fast. So yeah, you need a slower setting monomer to be able to achieve one bead methods correctly and nicely. Sorry about the camera blur here, it will refocus in a moment, so sorry. I don't know why it went out of focus, but on that little finger, as you can see, applying the white acrylic again, keeping it very thin, a full nail of the white again, blending that bead into the previous bead. I don't want any seams to be noticeable, and I noticed it was a little bit patchy on the sides, so just adding some tiny beads on those side walls to make sure it's fully opaque. I will add some more on the other side as well, and of course, as you can see, also on the free edge. Like I said, I'm just going for opaque coverage, apart from the index finger, which is more of an ombre. It's not a full nail. So yeah, pattern press that. Now, whilst that little finger is setting up, I'm going to start using the foil gel on the other fingers. So I'm going to apply the foil gel halfway up that nail on the index finger, because like I said, I'm going to ombre it, and then I'm doing a swoosh pattern on the middle finger. Sorry about the camera stopped recording and I didn't get to show you that, but you can see where it's yellow. Don't worry about the foil gel being yellow, it's only yellow whilst it's warm. When it cools down it goes back clear. But I also added some foil gel on the little finger, and so I did a full nail of foil gel on the little finger, cured all of them for 60 seconds, and now I'm applying that foil. As you can see, where I've not rubbed it properly, there's a few little bits left on the foil paper backing, so just rub it really well, get it on, and it'll be fine. It's not the most smoothest of nails because obviously it's not been filed, but it is doable. So just use a silicone tool or your finger and just really rub it really well, and then it will stick to that foil gel for you. So there you go, that's where I've done that one. And then on the swooshy pattern that I did, again rubbing that foil on really well, making sure that I get right up by that cuticle area. This little cuticle pusher is really good for getting right up in that cuticle area because it's the way it's shaped. Love using it for, I don't actually push back cuticles with it, I just use it for this kind of thing, for foils. It just helps getting in those little side walls in the cuticle area really well because of the way it's shaped. Anywho, so now that I have done that, I totally forgot to apply some base coat over the foil to protect it, and I don't know if you noticed there, but a little bit of the colour started to come off as my brush swiped along the foil. Whilst I was ombreing the white, some of the colour started coming off. That's because I didn't encapsulate it in some base coat. So instead of encapsulating with some base coat, I'm just going to do a thin wash of clear acrylic over the foil first of all. You can see it's slightly running, so definitely it's better to do a base coat, cure that, and then apply your acrylic. That way you're not going to ruin your foil. So just, yeah, I'm trying to be really careful not to brush the foil too much so that I don't remove too much of the pattern. And once I'm happy with my ombre, I will move on. There we go. So again, I'm just going to do a very thin wet wash of clear acrylic just to protect that foil because I hadn't applied the base coat. And by doing this and letting it set up a little bit, then I know that my brush swipes afterwards are not going to remove or ruin any of the colour. So you can see I'm being really careful how I'm applying it. I'm not swiping down the nail too much, I'm just moving the acrylic, not brushing the nail itself, if that makes sense. So yeah, just added that thin wet layer of acrylic just to protect it. And now now that that's set up a little bit, I can move back to the index finger and encapsulate it properly. It's at this point that I'm thinking about the shape and structure of the nail. I want to add my apex in the back third. I also want to make sure that there is enough thickness throughout the nail, that it's going to be a strong nail, but it's not going to be too thick, and that it is a good covering enough that when I file, I'm not going to file into the design, because that would ruin it, and that wouldn't be very nice. These are long, so they do need an apex. I mean, all nails need an apex. You can get away with a lower apex on shorter nails. On longer nails you need a decent apex, but it doesn't actually need to be humongous. It's really hard to show you on camera the thickness of the nails because you're looking at it from a bird's eye view. You may see me as I'm looking at the nail twisting it to the side a little bit. Pay attention because that's the time when you can see how thick the nail is. It shouldn't be very thick. The very free edge should be no thicker than a credit card. You don't want a very thick clumpy free edge because it makes it difficult to pick things up. It just doesn't look very nice to have a really thick free edge. It's just not attractive in my opinion, and it just looks bulky, and yeah, it just doesn't look nice if the nail is too thick. That's, well, in my opinion, I prefer a nail that doesn't look too thick but has enough strength. So you don't want it to be flat and have zero strength because you're going for a slender nail. No, you do need your thickness there, but it's where you place the thickness that's important. So that back third where that stress area is where you want the highest point of your acrylic to be, because that's where the most it's most likely to break, is at that stress area. So make sure the back third is there and you'll be fine. So I will just continue capping all of these nails. I'm not encapsulating anything on the ring finger. I'm just encapsulating the white, building my strength and structure because I'm going to be putting some crystals on that nail, so that's why I didn't put any foil on it. I'm swiping the sides as well, so I'm trying to keep my shape so that I've got less filing to do. The more you do with the brush, the less you'll have to do with the file, which is always good in my opinion. Yes, you can fix problems with your file, so don't panic. However, don't rely on that, because what you don't want to do is fall into the pattern of not being neat with your brush and then having to take longer to file the nail in to reshape it. So just bear that in mind. You want to make sure that cuticle area is nice and flush to the natural nail, so blend it in with your brush. Make sure it's nice and neat. You don't want it very thick at the cuticle area because it just won't look nice as the nail grows out, and you will have more filing to do in the end if you make it too thick back there. But you want it a nice slope from the cuticle area up into your apex and then a slope back down to your free edge. That's the best way to shape a nail. Obviously there are different types of tips. Some tips curve down, some go straight out. Either way, you will still need a nice curve on the top of the nail. So I've almost finished capping that little finger. You want to look at that nail from all different angles, because just looking at it from the bird's eye view, you won't notice any dips in the acrylic. So do turn that nail from all different angles. You see how I was looking down the barrel of the nail, looking to the side. Look from all different angles. That way you get a good overview of the nail itself. Then look at all of them in turn and together. Make sure they are a similar width and thickness, and then you can then put your stuff away and file. And I filed and shaped off camera. Sorry my frosty filing freaks, no filing in this one. There wasn't a lot of filing to do anyway because I wasn't too untidy with my application. But now it's time to bling it, baby. So I'm using my SBD London Diamond Gel as usual to apply my crystals. So yeah, apply that where I want it, the crystals to go. Apply the crystals, and then I will flash cure in between so that those crystals don't move. And the beauty of using the gel is that you can faff around and arrange your crystals as much as you like without worrying about it setting up before you've placed them exactly where you want them, because it's not going to cure until you cure it in a lamp or under an LED or UV light. So that's the difference between using a gel, a crystal gel, as opposed to just a glue or a resin, because they set up within seconds, and so you know pretty much where you place it is where it's going to stay. You don't have much time to maneuver the crystals around, whereas with the gel you can move it around as much as you like. So I started to do a little swoosh on this now, and then I didn't like it, so I've just used a bit of rubbing alcohol to wipe that off, and then I'm redoing that swirl in a slightly different pattern so that it matches more with the swirl on the index finger. So yeah, I'm just gonna add a load of crystals in that swooshy pattern. Not much to say about that really, just using both types of the crystals. I think those crystals matched the colours in the leopard print type foil, so yeah, that's why I went with them, especially because they're colour shifting. It's really pretty. Anyway, whilst I'm doing that, let's have a little chat. How are you? How are you doing? I hope you're all doing okay. I'm really sorry this video is late. I've not been feeling very good at all, and I don't like voicing over when I'm not feeling great, because you can tell in my mannerisms that I'm not doing okay, and I'd rather come to you guys with good energy and positive vibes than coming on and you hear in my voice that I'm not okay. I'd rather not do that. So yeah, I'm feeling a little bit better today, bit more positive, so that's why I'm voicing over. But how are you? How are you doing? Hope you're doing okay. I hope your life isn't too disrupted by COVID. Hopefully things will start getting a bit more normal. I mean, we're getting there slowly, but there are still different countries have different rules, you know, and I know you guys are from all over the world. Definitely different rules in different countries. It's very strange, but I suppose everyone's not going to do exactly the same thing, are they? Yeah, well, I'm hoping you're all okay anyway. So now it's time to top it off and keep it tough. Best part. Now I'm actually going to use a matte top coat on these ones, so they actually won't look very much different to what they look right now. So I'm just going to top coat around those crystals. I'm not going to go over them with my top coat. If you go over the crystals with your top coat, whether it's matte or shiny, it will still dull the shine of them because it interferes with the facets. So you definitely want to go around them, which helps secure them as well. So I will butt my brush right up against those crystals and then use a detailer brush to go around the more smaller areas that the brush from the bottle can't reach. And that's it. So I will just go around them, secure them. It kind of acts like a bit like a shrink wrap. If you butt the top coat right up against the crystals, you see I go right up against them, and it kind of when you cure it, it kind of acts like a bit of a shrink wrap, like gives the claw setting effect, as it were. So it just helps to secure them that little bit more, that's all. So just popping some around at the back again, that's just to make sure that those crystals are nice and secure. Then I'll whiz over the nails with the brush just to make sure all of that top coat is nice and even and that it hasn't pulled at the sides, because that will make the nails lose their shape. And then I'll pop it in the lamp for 60 seconds, full cure, and this is the finished set. So I really hope you've enjoyed this one. If you have not done so already, please go ahead and click that subscribe button. Join the Frosty Fam. I'd love to have you. If you have enjoyed this video in any way, shape or form, please click that like button. It takes but a second to do and it really helps my channel out. And if you feel like it, you are more than welcome to leave me a comment. I'm happy to talk to you. Thank you ever so much for coming to my channel, spending some of your most precious time with me. I appreciate you. Thank you ever so much. That's all I've got for this time, peeps. You take care now, and I'll speak to you all again very soon. Bye for now.
Someday soon, I'm gonna make it. Yeah, all hard work's gonna be worth